Hey Fork, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to a late night stream, I guess. How's it going, Fork? Okay, so there is a problem right there with this enemy. Okay, so you saw the link that I sent you? Yeah, a private message, right? For Resogun? Yeah, it looks really good, man. It's really, really good. But I don't have a console. I only have PC. So, but I think I have. Does that game have like more than one version? Because I think I have played a version of that game where it's like a horizontal shmup where you're kind of rotating over like a world or something like that. I think I have played it, or I've seen gameplay of it or something, because it looks very familiar. Maybe there was a version for Xbox or something. Okay, there's an issue right there. Why is that an issue? I think. Okay, let me see. Red right here. So here the spawner is 9. Let's see. Let's look for number 9. Can you hear me well, by the way? I'm trying not to be too noisy. 9 and 9 here. So what is the difference between this 9 and this 9 here? Let me put it maybe here and then like. It's okay? Okay, perfect. Thanks. Try this out and see what happens here. Basically, I got rid of all the borders in the game. I think one block makes a huge difference, and it kind of makes it gives a little more space, sort of. So I thought it was good enough. Let me just adjust the camera. There, I do feel like it feels good. Okay. So this one is well placed, but this one is it well placed? Right. So why isn't it well placed? I think I know why. It's because it's dependent on. Right, that is why. Okay, so as right, the problem is that there is no block right under it, which does make sense, I guess, in a way. You know, because that's how I program it, but I forget sometimes the things that I did, and then I wonder why some bugs are happening. So let me see, this should fix it, putting a block right under it. Yeah, there it is, so you can see that it is working right there. Okay, cool. Now, I don't need all these fancy things. I'm just gonna put it here in the middle, I guess, and in the spawner itself, I will try to adjust. Let me see if I can adjust it like that for now, at least. So I got rid of the black background on the sketch that I'm using, and I'm pretty much just chroma keying the black background and putting myself as an overlay there, transparent. I hope it looks good. Let me know. Alright, I promise I'm gonna stream. Cool, man. Go ahead, go ahead and stream, man. No, you can stream. You can stream. Go ahead. You have to work on your stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna check if that works. The little face that I had there. It doesn't bother me to have like an enemy like over a thing. Need to see those bullets. Yeah, of course you need to. Look at this now. Look at this enemy here exploding. Whop. That's really cool. Yeah, I know. I know it's you. I guessed. But you did say you were gonna stream, so you gotta. You gotta work on your game. So yeah, I fixed this thing. I don't know if I told you about this. These enemies, you can either kill them by shooting them or just destroying their the block on which they are next to. So what I'm gonna do, I think, is basically the turrets. Maybe I'm gonna give them 3 HP so that it's actually worth destroying the block that they're under. Let's see if that makes any difference design-wise, like gameplay-wise, if you would choose one over the other or not. Let's try that out. So basically on this one, there's nothing you can do. You have to take them as they are. What? Okay. Pausing. Oof. That's bad. That's one thing I need to fix. The camera needs to stop moving. So if I try to kill this one, it takes like a couple seconds. But like this, I can kill it right away, which is good. Okay. I need more hazards, more variety. Oh yeah, and I wanted, I haven't been able to, how many lines of code? What do you mean? Can you show me how many lines of code? I don't have it all in like one document, so I don't know what you mean. How could I check how many lines? I have no idea. Project. I don't know, man. Like, there's many files and stuff, so I do not know. Let's see if there's an option to check that. Flash develop count, line count. Oh, I would have to download a. Forget it. I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, there's quite a few. I think there's not that many yet, but there's a few. There's a few files and a few items, enemies, hazards, play states, a bunch of stuff. So yeah. Now. basically I wanted to move up. Why do you want to see how many lines there are? Oh, I guess I didn't save that here. This dude here needs to go. This dude here needs to go as well. But I can put one here. Are you making this game just for yourself, or making this game for yeah, I guess for myself, I mean, and for anyone who wants to play it. It's for fun. So, this enemy here. I try to walk myself through the logic. So, I wanted to move to the bottom and stop once it reaches that. So above ground false. So if it's above ground false, it should start above timer, and above timer goes above and above ground. True.
Smiderman Saïd Debido Newawa.
See if this is the issue. Just like that. Let's see. Let's see if that makes sense or not. Basically, I just want the enemy to go up and down, and kind of like when it reaches a place, I want it to stop. That's all.
Smiderman Saïda.
Right there, I'm just changing the levels as they are generated randomly. I'm trying to get that enemy there. Okay, so it does go like below. So another thing I'm gonna do is in update. I'm gonna trace. I'm gonna trace above. Above ground, okay.
Mr. Toxide Omnivore will probably remove TTS.
False. True. I'm making this game for Snyderman, yes. Only for him. That's what I meant when I said for me and for anyone who wants to play it. So that means either me or him. That's all. No one else. Hopefully, no one else. So we did stop there at 160. Yeah, so it makes sense because, right, it's at 131 and then it goes up. Well, it then goes down, I mean. So it goes up. 131. It does go down. Okay, so here it is. So it's a 148. I feel like the issue also is that why don't you use watch and track instead of trace? Because I don't know how to use those things. Trace is like the thing that I discovered while I was trying to do stuff, and it's been working for me so far, but I can look into that and see how it works. Is this with the debug thing? Because I'm not always using debug, that's why. So there, it's false, true, false. Okay, at least it is changing, so. Show me. Yeah, I don't want to use debug right now. Well, I mean, I can always use it, but right now I'm doing the Windows release so that I don't have any performance issues because of what I'm testing. Okay, it does stay there, but it is changing. So maybe you can help me out with this. Actually, basically, it's an enemy that starts like hidden in the bottom, and then it comes up. It's gonna shoot, and then yeah, an echo is really bad. And then it's gonna go down, and then it's gonna wait, and then it's gonna come up, and it's gonna wait. My logic, I think, is flawed. I don't know why. It's something super simple, but for some reason I can't get it. So I have a variable that says above. Okay, cool. I'll wait for you a second. Because if you help me out with this, then there's gonna be a bunch of problems that I have. Okay, basically it's an enemy that it's like a worm that hides and then it comes up and then it hides. You know, when it comes up it just shoots. So it's basically like either above ground or below ground. That's all. And when it's below ground I want it to wait a little and then come up, and when it's up I want it to wait a little and come down. I feel like it's a true or false situation in a timer situation, but I'm not quite sure I'm like getting the logic of it. So basically, when I create it, I set above ground to false, and I call the function above timer. Above timer starts a timer for above right here. Yeah, in the worm class itself. Like that's the like the class is the enemy itself, right? So the above timer calls the above function, and the above function does this. If y plus 16, which means like the bottom of the sprite, which I guess there's something better to check that. Okay, first off, why are you making new timers? Because I don't know. I thought this is how you use it. You have to make a new timer every time you want to start a timer, right? Maybe my understanding is flawed on how to use timers as well. Okay, I should just have one timer. Okay. Thanks, man, by the way. I'll try to learn from this. Okay, I'll build and debug, sure. Yeah, sure. Okay, so we're gonna, what do you wanna watch? Okay. Sorry, I have Steam here, I wanna close it. Hey man, by the way, this whole clean thing, I had an issue with the Windows. Yeah, sure, if you want, you can either call me on Discord, or you can call me on, let me put my headphones, and you can, or you can call me on Skype if you want. Let me put my headphones. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Okay, no problem. So I'll get my headphones off for now. I'm gonna try to solve the problem while I wait for by myself. Let's see if I can figure out how to do the debug thing. What's the keywords that you mentioned? Where are the keywords? Watch. Oops. Here. Okay, this looks okay. Okay, let's see if I can do this. We can do. Let's see if I can do this. Add quick. Okay, that's another one I didn't know about. Oh, okay, so I need to reopen Flash Develop. We're gonna try it out. Compiling. Yeah, I needed some music, and yeah, I'm better now. Okay, that's cool. Like, at least it's going step by step. I feel like if I fix this one, we will be able to implement the enemy shooter, which is a really cool enemy that I really want to implement soon. So once I get this Boolean logic down and I understand how to trigger it with timers and stuff like that, I feel like there I'm going to be able to build a lot more stuff that's going to be interesting for the game as well. Just 1 second now. Sorry, I'm trying to oh, there we go. So 100% there, and right there we go. put a follower goal or something like that. I don't know. That's kind of cheesy, I feel. And we're gonna also and I kind of want to give it a custom extent. Up around scroll mode. Nice. Yeah, I don't know how this works. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Maybe like this or something. Yeah, maybe like this. Hey, John Gaines, how's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. I'm currently making some changes in my layout. I should be working on my game, but yeah, I don't know what's going on. And whoops, I forgot to put the webcam. Let me move it a little, I guess, here, since something like that would be cool. And yeah, so right now I'm trying to else no. So if above ground, I'm gonna nest it, I guess. If above ground, so else, right? Else, boom. Else, right? And here I could put if y minus equals. So I guess I have to. Okay, cool. I don't know if I want Windows 10. I don't know if you're a bot or anything now. Should I block you? Let me know if I should block you. Say don't block me if you're not actually a bot. Because it is kind of weird what you're saying. Okay, cool, man. Don't worry. Sorry about that. Okay, sorry about that, man. I thought you were like some sort of bot sending links and stuff. That's all. Don't worry about it. Thank you for the thing. I tried Windows 10, but the problem is that it didn't work with my two screens and my graphics card, so I had to get rid of it. It is true, yes. Let me headphones. I don't know if you can see the cord or not. Okay, so max button, and we're gonna do max stop equals new. I'm gonna put it like this for now. I just want to see the logic tree, kind of. Let's see if that works. If you're used to Hax, it's just a hop, skip, and jump over into C#. I'm a new programmer, actually. I've only started making yeah, right. I've used Unity a little bit, and it was a little bit overkill for what I want to do. But this is my first game that I'm making with programming. Okay, that's cool. So at least I am going up and down now. Now there's maybe a third variable that I need that is like a waiting variable, and that variable would only be changed. Maybe a timer will be triggered or something. So let's see, because now it's going up and down, and that's not really what I want. I kind of want it to go up and down and wait, which is what I have right now. So we're gonna try and see what we can do about that. Hope the music is not too loud, because I'm listening into it myself right now, and I'm enjoying it. So I gotta put it there. I kind of like what Hax is doing for me. It's my first language that I'm actually using to make any sort of project, and I'm enjoying it. So I don't plan on changing so far. If I make a 3D game, eventually I will jump onto Unity for sure. Okay, so then I'm guessing that there could be a third, well, a second private bar waiting bool, and then we're gonna do we're gonna set waiting to true, and we're gonna do another thing, waiting timer, right? And the waiting timer will be, what's going on here? Oh no, yeah, of course it is. We're gonna do private function waiting timer, and then we're gonna do new f(x) timer start delay, and then we're gonna do, well, actually I could pretty much just use the timer right here for now, seeing as it seems very simple. Right. Right, yeah, I know what you mean. I'm really just a beginner, and this is not what I do for a living. It's a really just a hobby. So I do understand your recommendation, and I feel like, yeah, C# would be a better tool, I guess, because it's more used, more popular. I'm pretty sure there's more resources and a bigger community around it. But for this project, I'm fine with this. But yeah, like, I'm not attached to this language at all. I just use whatever works, you know, whatever works for me at the moment. Oh, sorry, man. I am muted right now. Was I muted this whole time? Because I was actually talking. Sorry. Yeah, someone on the other chat is saying, could you please turn up the mic? I don't hear a word you said. No, it's me. I guess I was muted this whole time. What I was saying is about your advice, John Games. I was saying that it's good advice, but I'm not a professional programmer. I don't know if you got all that. And yeah, I don't know what part I said. Let me see. Now it's just gonna do it once, I think. Basically, the thing is that I have a shortcut. Hello. Hello. No, man, it wasn't Twitch, it was me. It was my bad completely. I turned off my microphone, that's what happened. Like, you know, user error, as they say. Yeah, I messed up. Yeah. Fork, there's people on Twitch talking to me and they were wondering if Twitch pleb. Okay. You got it, you don't need context. Good. Live coding TV master race. Yeah, for sure, I guess. Honestly, it's nothing against the people on Twitch, but I feel like live coding is, when it comes to coding and making games, is a way more rewarding and interesting community than Twitch, which is a little bit more toxic, I think. Let's see if these dudes can do anything. Okay, now come down. Okay, so it's always going up. Sometimes it's going down. Okay, kind of getting there, sort of. So when so I'm changing the above ground and it starts the timer, and the timer calls this function again. It makes sense. And waiting, I'm guessing I can do this again, I guess. Let's see if this works. I'm just trying to fix my issue before Snyderman can actually help me, just to annoy him actually, because he's a really good programmer compared to me. So I don't know, I just want to annoy the dude for some reason, because he wanted to stream and he's not streaming now because I'm streaming and he's trying to help me. So it's always good when you can waste someone else's time. Okay, so now it's always going up. Why is that? Hope you guys are enjoying the music. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm really enjoying it myself. If you guys have any requests. Okay, so it's doing this right now. Let me add another Haxeflixel watch. I add this waiting. Can you have bots on live coding? I was actually wondering about that the other day. I guess you could code your own and stuff, but something like Nightbot or something like that. Is there anything like that? Okay, cool. Thank you, man. I'll check out that guide. I don't think I need a bot right now, but I was just curious to know if there was such a thing. Ah, I killed it by mistake. Is it always going up now? Okay, it's always going up, so basically what do I want to do? If it's above ground, else why is, I think this is the problem. Hey, when people tell me you should Google it, of course I know I should Google it. I just want someone to tell me about it and to have a conversation about it, you know? It's not that I'm lazy, it's just, it's part of the human experience. To share things. Okay, man, let me call you or call me, and let me lower the music a little. Okay, let me try to figure it out as well. So I'm gonna be talking to Snyderman. He is actually sending me a couple of I'm gonna call him. Okay, I need to be a friend with you first. Here he is, Snyderman, right there. I lowered it a little. Does it work? No? Okay. Because I'm going to be talking with someone, sorry. There. Let me call him.
Hey, you there?
Hey man, how's it going?
Good.
So,
Am I gonna hear an echo?
no. I think it's fine. I hear everything fine on my end.
Oh, I have to mute your video anyway.
Okay.
So how's it going, man?
Good. So are we doing like a late night public radio thing here?
Yeah, we could if you want.
Sure. It's you helping me. That's the show.
All right.
That's it.
That sounds good. Sounds good.
So
I'm gonna have to let me start up like a test case so I can kind of do some testing. So when this thing comes up out of the ground, is it animating or is it just popping up? How are you?
Right now I'm just like, I just have a placeholder, and the only thing I want is its position to change, and like it either goes up and then it stays up like a second and then waits and goes down, like it's a worm that comes out. But I actually have another enemy that kind of does the same, you know, it'll move around like to a position and then it'll move down and then down again and up. And I guess I'm having trouble with the idea of like having some sort of like flag that you know, that tells the object to wait and then to move, you know, like combining that logic. I'm not quite sure about like how to execute that. I don't know if people can hear you. Let me see if they can hear you. Can you say something?
Can you guys hear me?
Okay, I think they can hear you. Okay, cool. So do you get my question, like what my problem is?
Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to think of well, how do you move your objects? Do you use like FLX tween or do you use something? How do you usually do that?
Right now, I'm just like changing the y coordinate. as I go. You know, like just y minus equals 1 right now. Like
Oh,
as
okay.
simple
All
as
right.
yeah.
So wait, hold on. Let me look at your code here. So you got
Can you see the code on the stream?
yeah.
Okay.
So max bottom is that like a rect, an FLX rect,
No,
or
what I
what?
did basically is that when I create the object on public function new, I
Mm.
create two new FLX points, which are basically the coordinates of the object when it's created, and then plus 16, because like to get the bottom of the object, if that makes sense.
Is 16 the height of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, make graphic 816 lime. Start timer. All right. So when you start timer, what is Can you show me start timer? What does start timer do? Or maybe actually, you know what? Maybe it'd be a good idea to
Paste bin it, maybe.
walk me, or yeah, you can do that, or maybe yeah, actually, if you can case bin it and then send me a link to that, I'll take a look at that while you're kind of telling me basically what goes on. But then that way I'll be able to kind of see how everything flows, you know?
Right. Okay. So there, I sent you a link with the code, so you can take a look at it, and I'll just put it on the stream as well if anyone is interested in checking it out.
Okay. All
So
right.
basically, yeah, it's when I create the object, I create those points, max top and max bottom. The idea is that I don't want the object to go below that point or above the original, I guess the original coordinates that it was at. Then once it's created, it does start timer, which starts a timer. I guess this part doesn't make sense. I could have done it differently, because
Start delay. Okay, so when it's first created, it makes a new timer and start delay above. What's above here?
delay is like 1 second, and above is a function that flips the
Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah.
it flips it around, and then it starts the timer again. And then that's where I'm at, kind of like I want to make it wait. That's the part. Like right now, I can make it move up and down without the waiting flag there, but I can't make
Well,
it
here.
wait. I'm not quite sure how to do that part.
Well, let me ask you something. So this thing, it rises out of the ground and it's gonna shoot. It's gonna shoot stuff, right?
Right, exactly, yeah.
Okay. And then based on like where the camera is being panned, whenever it gets to like a certain, if it gets like, is it when it gets close to the player that'll come up out of the ground?
No, it's based on like as
It's
soon
just
as
like
it
a timer
appears
event, like it's just infinite and it just keeps going up and down.
until it dies, which all enemies die when they reach the scroll, like when the screen scrolls by them as well. They are killed.
Sure.
Yeah. They
Okay.
cease to exist at that point in the game.
And then okay, and then in the update, let's see. So update, super to update, move.
Yeah, move is
So-
yeah.
Let me look at move here. All right, so that's where you're trying to do the flag for waiting, and then if above ground, if the y is less than or equal to max bottom. Okay. One minus equals. All right, let me think.
Does that make
How
any
do you
sense
feel?
to you? What
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
trying
yeah,
to do?
yeah. I mean, one of the things I'm kind of looking at, like max bottom dot y, that's like the ground, right? I mean, that's the ground relevant to where, like,
Yeah.
basically, it's the y position of.
Basically,
It's-
it's the
Yeah,
Y
it's like the
position
least
of
y
the
position it
bottom.
can go. Right, right.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
So if it's
Hey, Mr. Brown, how's it going? Welcome to the stream.
hey, can I ask? All right, let me ask you one thing. So if it's moving up, that means that the y position is going down, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So if the y,
Oh yeah, maybe that's
If the y is less than, wouldn't it be if the y is greater than the max bottom? So it'll keep going until it's, I guess, less than it. And if it's max bottom, wouldn't that have to be?
maybe we should start at max top because I think there's a mistake right there because basically the Y that it has at the beginning, since I think it starts like this enemy starts uh, underground. It's supposed to start underground, so the max top should be minus 16, and the max bottom should be the first Y that it has. Right?
Right.
That makes sense.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let me ask you. Do you use FLX tween a lot?
No, I have never used it.
Well, what I'm wondering is, I mean, you can, if you put in FLX tween in here, you get a couple more options to kind of mess around with, like moving this how it moves right now. It's always going to be linear. It's not going to have any like type of easing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know what
And
it
if you
is,
had, and if you put FLX tween in here, you could do that if you wanted to like give it that look. But then FLX tween also has a bunch of stuff like delay and
Wait.
on complete and all that stuff. So you can kind of just use that for all the mechanics as far as moving this up and down without having to use a timer.
Yeah,
Um,
with one method, I guess, with one class, right? Just
well,
using that
yeah,
one
I mean,
class.
yeah. Well, you would create like maybe, for example, you can make a class, private variable in here that's just the tween itself.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
every instance of one of these things, it'll have its own tween,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then that way it's not going to overwrite any other ones. So each one will be assigned its own tween,
Right.
and then you can use that tween for both delaying it going up and down.
Right.
And then perhaps what you could also do is use like a getter and a setter for this thing for like the flag that you're talking about, or like maybe I'm wondering if maybe you can overwrite.
Because I feel like the FLX tween does pretty much all the things that I need to do. It even has like a wait and a start delay, and it's like basically what I'm trying to do here is implement something that does something similar to the FLX tween, except in a more like rustic way where it doesn't have easing or anything. So it may be
Well,
better.
you can. There's an easing. There's an ease that's linear. It's like linear none. So it's
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
basically goes. I mean, let me think here.
So
'Cause,
I'm
I mean,
trying to
you
reinvent the wheel here, maybe for
well, I
no
mean, no,
reason.
I mean, you can do it this way, but if you were to simplify it and have kind of one thing take care of it all, you can kind of block that out. Like what I would do in this situation is maybe like I normally what I do is I always set up debug if I'm trying to figure something out, and I try to use a lot of getters and setters because then I can. I mean, I like doing that. That's my preference. You can do functions and stuff like that. Make some functions for debugging purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like what I would do is I would set it up so that I can put it in like I don't know, some test state, just have it sitting there, or even set it up so when you compile it just shows up on the screen. I'm not sure how you have your stuff set up, but if maybe we implemented like the above ground as a getter setter boolean.
Mm-hmm.
That way we can set it, and just by setting it, it'll activate it and it'll go up and down. So then that way we can use the debugger to activate that without having to maybe like play through the level to get it to work.
Right. I see what you mean. Yeah.
But then if we get that blocked out of the way, then we can just I mean, if we get that part to work, then it's just setting a variable for it, and we know that it'll be fine.
So would that be like an argument when I'm initializing the object itself? Is that what you mean? Like I would
Well, I mean,
set
it all.
that above ground or whatever when I'm making the object itself. Besides the
Yeah,
reason
or
why-
yeah, I mean, you can. I mean, if you wanted to make it more intricate, you could probably put some type of parameter in the new function, like is alive or something as a boolean. That way you can add them to the your state without giving it options like, well, this one I want this, or maybe what you can do is you can have it so that you can modify the delay of each one.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That would
You
be
know,
interesting.
that way,
Maybe you
yeah,
can walk me through the way you would implement it, so I can learn. Because I'm implementing it the way I feel like it would work, but the
right.
way you're saying it maybe may allow me to learn like a different approach and maybe like expand my knowledge regarding like how to use classes and how to create new enemies and stuff, and maybe I'm going to be able to improve the game in general if you show me
Yeah. I
how you would do
mean,
it.
I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm professional, but you know, uh, yeah. Normally, I always try and make sure that when I'm creating new stuff, I have some sort of like test state that I can just throw it in and have it work.
Right.
Like, I mean, you have like your game state, and that has all the stuff in there. And I try and separate like test cases so that I don't mix that code up with the game state code.
Right. So
Um,
basically, you mean like a separate play state where I would just it would be like
yeah,
a
like in this situation,
sandbox kind of.
yeah, like I would have a state that would be like object editor or something like that, and you can customize it. Like if you're adding all these different elements to your game, you can test out
Yeah, that would
in
save me a
another
lot
in
of time
another state.
actually.
Yeah. So if you so that's that would be the first thing I would do is I'd make a new state, like a test state, right? And then I would have it so that you can create one of these. What is this thing called? A enemy worm, right? So you can make an enemy worm, and I mean, if it's is this getting any is this getting any variables from like another from
Yeah,
like
from the parent class enemy. It's getting like a couple, like it's getting the HP.
oh, well, that's fine because it
Meter.
extends it, so that should be fine.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, from anything outside of its content or context, like from play state itself, or from anything that's
No.
not technically global. Like FLXG is pretty global, but like anything from like I don't know. No, I mean, yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah, I don't think it's getting anything that isn't
All right,
there. Yeah.
so let's do this. Let's make a new state. We'll call
I
it
think
just
I
test.
already. Let me just check. I think I already have one. Let me just because I have. Let me just check in reg here. I know I had something current level.
How much have you used like the debugger tools?
I only use trace and the debugger to check like collision and stuff like that. Yeah.
How did you use the debugger to check for collision?
For instance, yesterday I was like checking if I don't know if you remember. I was checking the whole if an enemy was on top of or the bottom of another object, and I was just checking like the collision boxes, like pretty much like
Oh, I
on
gotcha.
high,
Well, do you ever use like the console or anything like that?
With Haxeflixel. No, not really.
Oh man. All right. So, have you messed with like Chrome dev tools and stuff?
Mm-mm.
All right. So what I really like about this is that I mean I work with JavaScript all the time, and I really love how you can edit it live, and like its debugging is great. Um,
Can you do that with Haxeflixel? Like check
yes.
values in runtime? Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and you can set up your own like you can create these new tracking windows that'll show all the properties and stuff of whatever you're targeting, and you can go in there and you can change the properties. You can change a number here and there. There was one I actually recommended this to have like like if you use down and up arrows, you can um, you can change the number in certain intervals. So like just regular
Like
up
in
and down, it
Unity,
would
right?
yeah, like it would go +1, -1. I mean, it's that's like one of the basics in all the programs that you use. If you have some type of like input where it's a number, if you use the up and down arrow keys, it'll go up or down by 1, right? Holding Alt, it would be like a decimal point, so it would go up by zero point 0.1. If you hold Shift, it would go up by 10. And that's really it's I use it all the time, especially for like things that are on the screen. Um, So
Is that
you can
something
set
that you have to implement from scratch yourself every time you're like you had to make it yourself, or does that come all built into
for the
Haxeflixel?
debugger thing.
Yeah.
Um, well, when I make an element thing, like for debugging purposes, I have this whole thing that's separated out with like the compile conditionals. So I have like if you're testing this in debug, then include all of this other
Right.
stuff, and all
Right.
this other stuff would be um, adding certain things if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
You can out of the box, it works great. You can track any type of FLX sprite or FLX object or anything like that, and they have certain tracking. They have like it's actually a really nice system that they have set up. You basically say I want to be able to track this type of class, and then you give it like a string, or you give it an array of strings that would represent any properties you would want it to show up. So if you wanted to track something and have an X and a Y, you can put that in there. But then the third parameter allows you to specify any like super classes, and those are like an array, so you can include more than just one. So, for example, I made a new uh, let's say like your worm, right? The enemy worm. If I just regularly tracked it, it would include all this stuff because an FLX sprite. I'm guessing. Wait,
Yeah, it is.
extends enemy and enemy. So enemy is an FLX sprite, right?
Yeah, it extends it. Yeah.
Okay. So you can assign like specifics to enemy worm, like if you just wanted to track its X and Y, or maybe if you wanted to track its X and Y and its speed, let's say, or delay. We can make a delay a getter in the center like we were talking about, but then you'll be able to track that in a window, and then you can change that on the fly while the game is going, and then that way you're not having to close it, change the code, compile it, test it to see if it works.
Right.
You can really like tweak the numbers, to detail.
Yeah, that would
and then
take
be
a
able
lot of
to
time. Yeah.
right, exactly. So let's see here.
So the first thing you want me to do is to create a test state. So should I make a copy of the play state and then just take the map out of it and all that, or how would you do it yourself?
Well, let's see. So,
Because there's stuff that needs to be implemented for like my classes to work in.
oh yeah,
in
that's
new,
right. Okay, yeah,
so
because I'm
wondering
just
if I
looking
make a
at
copy.
yeah, I'm just looking at enemy worm. I wasn't thinking that it extends this enemy thing, and I'm not sure what that does. Yeah, I would say just make a duplicate.
Let me
Maybe
just-
strip a bunch of stuff later on that doesn't technically need to be in there. Then that way you can kind of get some stuff to work right away. So maybe just
I'm just gonna copy paste it and I'm just gonna call it like test state and see if it runs. Where's this play state? This. Okay. Okay. States play state should be testing. Okay, because the game is trying to run, I think, the FPS test state. Play state. I remember when I first implemented the level generation, I had two states running, and I would always change because I was trying to see what worked and what didn't with a pre-made map and with a generated one. But now I don't remember how I did it. I think I had a test.
to make this easier, how do you when you create one of these new things? How do you normally test it? You just kind of put it in a level and then play it.
So far, yeah. I know it's not the best way, but
well, I mean, if everything is set up that way, then let's try it that way. But what we'll do is we'll rewrite a little bit of the enemy worm to get it working. How's that?
sure, we could do it. Yeah. If it's
Yeah,
not
that would be a lot. Yeah, that'd be a lot easier. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, let me.
Yeah. If you're used to that setup, it might as well just be like that.
Yeah, but I think the setup that you were talking about is way more convenient, and like it's boring stuff, I guess, to do it and to test it, and like I don't want to do that now, but I think like tomorrow that's the first thing I'm gonna do, to have like a test state where I can
Yeah, I mean,
just
I'm sure it's not perfect, but I try and get it to work to my benefit as much as I can. And
yeah. I mean,
the debugger thing, I mean, I use that, like I have to use that. I have to use that. I have to use Lars made this really amazing thing called Crash Dumper, and it's like if you're working on a C++ build and all of a sudden it just crashes and you have no like trace back of whatever it was. There's no stack trace or nothing. This will actually go and it'll print it out in a log file so that you
oh,
you have that saved and you can go in there and figure out what's wrong with it.
oh, that sounds awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I try and have that all set up because being able to compile it and then debug it during runtime. And actually, I made a class that I was trying to figure out what would be a really good way to benefit me by making like some type of way to load levels and save levels. I mean, they've got their formats like Ogmo has
Yeah.
brings it in that way, and
Yeah.
then like how you're doing it. I don't know the technical names for them, but I
Like the
was thinking like
CVS and the base
yeah, but
64 and all that stuff.
right.
Right.
Well, yeah. Like bringing in it, however you want it to do it. If it's like a CSV where it shows
Yeah.
like a tile of zeros and ones or whatever, the tiled app. I haven't even made a game yet. I've just made like prototypes, so I haven't even messed around with this stuff. But I wanted to make something where I could edit and create a level inside of the game itself,
Yeah, that's
but
something that
then
would be.
somehow,
Yeah.
yeah, but then somehow like save it out so that I'd be able to load it back up and everything is saved in, but have
Yeah.
it be in a way where it's flexible to the point where as it'll just save everything that I throw at it. So I use the debugger classes and stuff to be able to write this thing that goes into whatever current state and saves all the settings out for everything as like a JSON file.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything like it's X and Y and all that stuff, but all of those properties are based on whatever I tell the debugger like tracking system to track,
Mm.
so I can customize
Oh,
it
that's cool. For
without
depending on
having
what
to.
you
Yeah,
want.
like if
Yeah.
yeah, like for example, like you're making the enemy worm. If you wanted to save out the position of it and everything, but then also be able to save the delay,
Mm-hmm.
save certain things about it. I mean, you can even have it say like dot color because that's a generic FLX sprite
It's true.
or
Yeah.
even an FLX object property. So you can
Mhm.
you can do all that stuff and then have it load in that level and it's where you left off. And I liked it that way because I mean it's making something having the editor in the game. I mean you absolutely know what it's going to look like.
Yeah, that's really good.
You
That's
know.
something that you have implemented already, or you're working on.
I made it. I mean, it's buggy, but it works for this.
Huh.
I'm making this tower physics game. It's just like World of Goo.
Right.
But yeah, I made it. It loads the levels and everything.
That's cool, man. That sounds really good. I need something. I think I need to work on something like that for my game, especially because I would like to have people create their own templates. You know how
Yeah,
my levels work. Like you have like level chunks, and if I have that like a little utility that I could just like send to people or put on the stream or whatever and say like, hey, if you want to make a level, because like right now the other day I was trying to get people like, oh, make a template, but it's kind of horrible when they have to write down the numbers by themselves into arrays and stuff. If
right.
they could actually see what the level looks like and then it would just spit out like the data that I need,
Yeah, I mean, if you had a
that'd
system
be
set up,
pretty
if you had
cool.
a
Yeah.
system like that set up and saved it out, where like, I mean, you could just use um, you can use the debugger tool itself to even create a level, or if you wanted somebody else, I mean, you could probably, I don't know, that wouldn't be like real point and click. You'd have to tell the people to open up the console and type some commands in, but
Yeah, exactly.
you probably could do something like have some shortcuts where like they hold A and click and then it'll create something wherever their mouse is
Yeah.
and then have that saved out. I don't know.
Yeah. First, I need to implement the like a good level generation, because now I'm limited to 0 to 9. And the other day I was trying to implement something with like strings, so I could put any like alphanumeric character in it, and
Yeah.
it was a mess. So I just rolled back in my code, and I kept working on my game. But eventually I'll need to change how the levels are generated. But I'm pushing that as much as I can, because this was already hard enough for me to do, even though maybe
Yeah.
for you it's simple, but. It was a mess.
I just started really getting into the game scene like this year. I have one game on the App Store that's really shitty because all I wanted to do is just try and get it on the store because I've never done that before.
Right.
So I just did it. I just did it really fast, just so I can have something, and then just submitted it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have. There's all these different techniques and stuff that are just they're really interesting. I'm still trying to learn everything.
Yeah.
But with gaming and stuff, there's a ton of stuff that I don't really know about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I come from a background of Flash, that's what I did my whole life. So,
Okay. Animation or games?
well, it was like, it was back in the day when all the websites, like, you could have like a full screen and it looks all cool.
It
Yeah, I
used
tried.
to, yeah.
Yeah, I tried doing that stuff. I worked
Okay.
a lot. I worked a lot in the law industry,
Okay.
doing Flash, and it was because I worked at this place called Trial Graphics, and it was like you'd have two people that are going to court against each other, and one person is trying to show their side of the story or prove that they're right.
Right.
So they would hire us, and we would create like big, huge graphics that they put up, but then we'd also create like interactive things.
Huh.
And one of the popular ones was like some type of timeline, right? So you can like kind of scroll to the different things, and then you click on, a day, and then it would show documents from that day and like different statistics. And so I would write that stuff, and like I just tried to make it look nice, but it was just a job to kind of pay the bills.
Yeah, for sure.
And when Flash started dying out, that's when I got into Hacks. I found Hacks, and I don't know if it's Hacks or Hex, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I changed my pronunciation depending on the day.
I just say Hacks. That's what I just see and say Hacks.
And now you're trying to make games. You want to do that for a living, or?
I want to keep doing it for fun because I've always looked at it like it's good to do when you're having fun. I love that aspect about it. It's not, we're making this web app online for my job now. That it's like a Google Drive for law firms.
Right.
So we're trying to do that, but it's like making anything like that, any type of like, app or something. It's a lot of work. It's so hard to do. And I really like to just make a stupid game where you throw a piece of poop or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But something where it doesn't matter. It's just some little fun thing, So
Yeah,
you have fun making it. So I just started trying to do that and Hacks and OpenFL, and then I got into Haxeflixel and
Right.
but yeah, I've been doing it forever. Not the game stuff though, but the stuff is super super fun.
So yeah, this is my first framework that I'm actually coding in. So it's a huge change for me it's a huge mindset change because I used to use Construct 2. I don't know if you know what it is.
Yeah, I saw it. I look at all of those and then figure out. I've tried to figure out why Haxeflixel is better because that's like the one thing that I'm pretty decent at, and I've been messing with it for enough time to figure out how to kind of get to a point,
Right.
of getting something to work.
Right. Yeah, I don't come from a programming background, so Construct 2 was perfect for me, just to get stuff going and drag and dropping, and at least I got an understanding of the overall logic of how a game can work, even though if it's not the correct logic, at least it's a logic that got me going
Right.
and making
Yeah,
fun
that's-
games, so
Yeah, that's definitely something that I always wrestle with. Like I'm always constantly doubting, like, am I doing this right?
Yeah.
I'll look and try and see like what the best practices are and stuff, and I even try and follow that to a T. But I mean, it's just yeah, I always second guess myself, and that I think that a lot of the reason is for me not making these like games and stuff. Uh, all every game is different. The
Yeah.
programming is completely different. It's
Yes.
not like you're building some corporate app that basically has the same stuff but a different skin.
Mm.
It's I don't know. Everyone is just it's so completely different,
Right.
but
Right.
it's fun.
Yeah. Right.
I don't
Right.
know. I think yeah, I just gotta man up and just make a game, you know.
Yeah, for sure, man. What were you making now? Like that a game for your kid, you said, or a game that your kid liked?
So I've been working on this tower game forever, and I just I just figured out like how to do like parallax panning, but with being able to zoom. And
Mm.
I'm trying to implement some pinch and zoom, because it's going to be on mobile.
Right.
But all the mechanics are there. I just have to make it funner, I guess. But I've been working on that thing for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and my wife and I was kind of frustrated one night. She's like, "Well, I was frustrated because I just want to make a game. I just want to get it done, And this tower game, like, I, it seems like I have to reinvent the wheel so much that it just takes so long to get the basics done.
Mm.
So I was frustrated with that, and I told her, and she's like, "Well, why don't we make like a stupid little kid game that would take not that long to do,
Right.
and it'd be fun?"
Mm.
So I'm like, "Yeah, I'll just do that." So I did that, and I haven't really been messing with it for the past couple of days, but I'm trying to make sure that I don't do that whole thing where like I start off simple and then I add a ton of shit to it and I never get it done. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna start off simple, have my list, and get the list done, and then put it on the store and then see what happens.
Yeah, like execute based on that list, and like you have a design plan from the
Yeah,
beginning, and yeah, yeah, that makes
yeah. I
sense.
mean, I don't know all the techniques and stuff, but if I can get that down, at least I can be you know, sure of myself, knowing that I'm, going to be able to finish something with whatever techniques I use.
Right.
And who knows? There's a bunch of different techniques that are neither right or wrong. They're just a preference.
Mm. Right. Yeah. I'm just at the moment I'm working through this stuff. Like honestly, from my perspective, like being a beginner, I feel like I'll never get to a level where I get all those things. Like especially since I'm just a hobbyist. So I try to get things to work when I can. You know what I mean. Like if I can make it work in one way, I don't know if it's the best. I wish it's the best. I can't doubt myself too much because for sure I'm not doing things correctly. You know what I mean? So, and if I start doubting myself, I'll never like I wouldn't even have one enemy in the game. I guess if I started doubting myself. But my objectives and yours are not the same. Obviously, like I'm just doing this like completely for fun. Like this is so far from what I do for a living, so that like I don't mind if like I do mind if the game is not completed because it's a project that I want to see finished, but
Hmm.
it won't be the end of the world, or it won't like my livelihood is not depending on it, so it's not that big of a deal, I guess, as an adult, I mean, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, I just I've always wanted to make some game that would be mobile and on the store, and a lot of people would use it. I've
Right.
always wanted to do that. I mean, it's not like I'm doing this for the sole purpose of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. It's like, you know what it's like when you make something and then you show somebody else, and it's like you can see them like enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. I love that. That's why I made all those flash sites and stuff. That's why I like doing all that stuff. So if
Mm-hmm.
I can make something like my 2-year-old kid, he loves the game. It's not finished yet, but it's got sounds, and you can click the things, and it works. And when the game's over, it makes this like big noise, and then it starts over, and it's like that's all a 2-year-old kid needs is that, and that's why he likes it so much. So I kind of look at it like that. Like okay, well, it doesn't need to have really cool, perfected. Uh, explosions or anything
Right.
like that.
Right.
I don't need to mess with anything. I just need to make it fun. So
So
I'm just gonna keep that in mind when I'm programming it, and I'm definitely gonna have to start streaming it
mhm.
because that definitely helps
You,
focus me.
you haven't shown it anywhere yet? You haven't
I
streamed it at
streamed
all,
it.
or
No, I
okay,
streamed it. Yeah, I streamed it from its creation, but I didn't save any of the videos. I think the videos
okay,
are all deleted now.
okay.
But
And I'm guessing that like creating a game for kids comes with its own set of like challenges and design uh, specificities, I guess, compared to like making, I don't know, like a shoot 'em up or something like that, where you're expecting the player to engage on a maybe deeper level, or they have developed certain like
well, all right. Do
visual
you do you
skills and stuff like that, whereas a kid, like
do
a
you have
3-year-old,
a do you have
doesn't.
a kid?
No,
Do you have a
no,
kid at all?
no, no, no.
All right. Well, I'd have to say that like the coolest thing about having a kid is watching them figure stuff out,
Right.
you know? So if when I make this thing and I see him like I'll close my eyes because it's so cool that I can get this kid to be programmed well enough to know like
Mm.
you have to touch this and then you have to touch this and then it makes this noise. So it's like
Mm.
I close my eyes and I just hear the noise.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so cool. So and I mean we all know like different like they if you study the games and stuff of games that other people made, you can see what they do. They have like there's one where like you have like a shape, and then you have the actual thing that goes into that shape.
Right.
It's
Mm-hmm.
like it's like a shadow of that shape. And so
Mm-hmm.
they just drag it to where it is. Like there's that one, and there's all of these, but like my main problem is that I start something and then I try and make it like really, really intricate and detailed
Yeah, you
and
blow it
better and
up.
better. And it's like I
Right.
never stop.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to try and break that habit. And that's the main reason that I'm doing this little kid game because that's how I started doing it with the tower thing. I was just going to do something like you would try and build a tower and see how high it got, and that's it. You know,
Right.
and then you could be on a leaderboard and you can see who has the highest tower in the world, and that
Mm.
would be it. But now it's like, oh, I created the level editor thing
Right.
because of that game. I did the whole panning and zooming thing because of that game, and like now I want it to have all these different islands and levels and all this crazy stuff. And it's like that wasn't my original thought. Like I didn't want to do it like that.
Mm.
So I still want to finish it, but I think if I start making these little kid things, like it'll help me out with that. Plus, I'll be able to test it out on my kid, and that's always really fun.
Right. If you take some distance from that project as well, you may be able to like boil down what the
Yeah, I
game
mean, if
really
I yeah, if I
needs.
can if I
Yeah.
can kind of practice my stuff and get it to a point where it's get it down to a science where like all right, I got to make sure I get this done and I get this
Mm.
done and I don't
Mm.
drift away from it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Have you read the article by Derek Yu finishing a game?
no, I
No.
should.
It's really it's exactly what you're talking about. I'm gonna send it to you on Discord. You have to read that because he pretty much says that like finishing a game in itself, like making a game in itself is a skill, right? A set of skills, but finishing a game in itself is a skill that you have to improve, because it's a
Yeah,
hard thing to like get to the finish line.
right.
And there's like a bunch of stuff. It's really interesting. It's from a dude that actually made some good games and that were successful. So
Oh, I'll read that.
it's worth
Yeah,
reading.
send that
Yeah,
to me. Yeah.
yeah. You should really check it out because it's exactly what we're talking about right now. Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah. Let's move on to the enemy war
yeah,
mechanic.
let's make your enemy worm.
Yeah. Sure.
So the ground position that's basically relative to wherever it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's going up 16 pixels, that wherever it's positioned, it's gonna just move up. It doesn't matter. It could be floating in the air and it'll still work, right?
Exactly. Basically, it's just gonna. It's related to. It's like a threshold related to the initial position, and that's it. And it
Okay.
doesn't matter what it is. Yeah.
All right. Let's let's do. Let me think here.
Just give me
Okay.
1 second, okay? I'm gonna
Yeah.
do something.
Yeah. No problem.
Okay, I'm back. Let's
All
get me
right.
some water. I think you heard that. People on the stream didn't hear that, but you heard me getting water, right?
I heard a door open.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, so you said we should implement the tweeting, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean,
feel
there's
like
some
it may
there's
be
some
a better. That may be
there's some
a better
caveats that go
solution.
along with that. I mean, it's
Okay.
like in your setup, right? What you have right now, it will be fixed at 1 pixel every single frame, right?
Yeah.
With tween, with using the FLX tween, it's based on the amount of time.
Right.
You know, I mean, we can calculate it to make it so that it's absolutely 1 pixel every frame, but that's some extra work, you know?
Right.
So if that's something that you're willing to kind of like, be able to tweak later on,
Right.
I would say that the benefits of using FLX Tween would be great. You know, you can add a ton of stuff in there and have it like it includes all that stuff. And actually, with what you're trying to do, we can use the type of tween which would be ping pong, where it goes back and forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that would be the whole going up, going down.
Right.
Um,
I think it's the right solution because the important parts for this enemy is that it has to stay out for long enough so that the player can shoot it. Because when it's underground, it's like the player can't shoot it, right? So it doesn't matter how long it takes him to get out or in, like underground or above the ground. The important part is that it can wait and then like go back down, and that's pretty much it. So I think tweening would be a good solution.
Okay.
Girl says creepy. I think she's talking about my webcam, but I like it, so I don't know.
I don't know if it's just. Wait, are you reading that off of the chat for Twitch?
Yeah, I know for live coding.
Oh, okay. I was wondering because sometimes you talk, and I'm like, who are you talking to?
There's always people on live coding. That's why I like it more. There's always people like interacting there.
Oh, I'm
Compared
not
to Twitch,
cool enough
Twitch
to know about that place. I don't know what that is.
You should multi-stream to both websites. It's worth it. It's fun.
I don't know how to do that.
I'll send you a link. It's easy. It's just a website.
All right.
Okay. So let's.
All right. So here's what I would do: is let's get it to a point where we add this in the state and get it so that when we compile, it shows up on the screen, even though it's not working. Do you have that set up kind of already?
For the enemy, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it's already there. Yeah.
For this enemy worm.
Yeah, it's showing up, and maybe are you watching the stream right now without sound?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a 10-second delay until I see what we're talking about, but
Okay, I'm gonna.
yeah, just play it and see, and maybe point out to me what it is.
It's let me see. I think right now it may not even be showing up. I don't know because I changed stuff as we talked, and then I never checked it.
Well, let's find out. And if it's not there, let's add it.
It is showing up, but I think the problem may be that above ground is set to false in the beginning. Let me just check.
Is there just one enemy worm?
I could add a bunch if you want to make it easier.
No, that's fine. Wait, here, you're using watch right here. So you're using Felix watch, add above ground, waiting. Okay, so you're using the watch panel to check those different properties, right?
Right, yeah. I was
All right.
trying it out. When you left, I was trying that functionality out, I guess.
All right,
So-
here, do this. Import flx.debug or flixel.debug.tracker, that class.
Flixel debug doesn't exist. Yeah, Flixel debug doesn't exist. Add-ons? No.
Wait, hold on a second.
Maybe I don't.
Or you know what? Hold on a second. Here, wait. Just you know what I do? Here, get rid of that whole import line, and just go somewhere in your code. Like go right underneath line 24, where it says start timer,
Right.
and just do Yeah, and just make this, just do var g, and then do a colon, and then you'll get the little code completion window.
Right.
And then just type in tracker. There should be a class called tracker.
Yeah.
All right, and then just do that, and then delete that line, and then that'll import. It'll, that
All right,
that
right.
thing imports it. Yeah, I just
True.
do that.
Okay. That's a good solution. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so where it says FLX watch that add this evo, put tracker dot, and actually, you know what? Let me do it on my end so that I know what I'm talking about
So
here.
instead of the watch.add, you mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, keep those there for now. We can comment them out later. They're not going to hurt anybody. We can keep them there for now. Let me just see here. All right, so put tracker dot add profile.
Yeah.
And you're going to do new tracker profile. And the object class is going to be enemy worm.
So this or
No. It's going to be the actual class. Like if you just typed in enemy worm.
okay. Inside enemy worm, I do that? Okay.
Yeah. Hold on. Sorry, I gotta wait like 10 seconds to see what you're typing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you do that. And then the next parameter, put in, and this is going to be an array of strings, and I want you to put in these 2 extra parameters, which is above ground and waiting.
Yeah. Okay.
And actually, now that well, you know what? We can change this later, but just let's put those in since you have those already implemented.
Right.
So yeah, put those in, and then after that, the third parameter, I want you to put FLX sprite. Yeah, FLX sprite.
Okay. So I'm gonna do the add because.
Yeah, and actually, you know what? Hit enter a couple times and put all this stuff where it says tracker and watch and stuff. Put all of that inside of like a compiled conditional, or even like a lot of times what I'll do is I'll make just one big function that'll put all of the debugging stuff, like setup debugging, or something like that.
Okay.
And then I'll just put like a conditional thing that it'll execute that function and then also include that function.
Okay.
That way, when I compile it out to be released, like all that crap is not even a part of it, you know.
Oh, right. So how would you check the?
All right,
what
so
it's compiled to, pretty much.
well, you can do it in 2 ways, but the one way that I use is use FLX no debug. That it's like a Hax flag. So I would type in well, do you know the conditional compiles, like if C++,
No,
if flash.
No,
Have you done that before?
No, I've never done that yet.
All right, so you'd put in the pound sign, and then if space, and then put exclamation point, and this is all capitalized, by the way.
Okay.
Exclamation point FLX underscore NO underscore
Oh,
debug.
I've seen this. Okay, yeah, I've seen this like on the main, I think, or.
Yeah, it's
Project
well. I mean,
XML.
if you look through a lot of the code, you'll see it, and even in like the FLX object itself, like all of the commands for showing its bounding or its bounds, like its hitbox when it's debugging and stuff, like all that code it's all using that, because when you set it to be released, then none of that stuff is taking up a bunch of space. Yeah, so you do that, okay, and then there's no curly bracket or anything like that.
Okay.
And then you put all the code and stuff in there, and then at the end you just put pound END. That's it.
Okay. Capitalized. Is the if capitalized as well, or?
No. The if and end are both lowercase. It's just the Hax flag itself.
Okay, so FLX no debug meaning.
Meaning that if you are testing this out in debug, which you are right now, it will include all this stuff. If you go to release this game, it's not going to include any of that. And actually, the debugger and stuff, like if you hit the backslash key to show it,
Right.
none of that stuff will work in release because it's all cut out of the code, you know.
Yeah, that I've checked. Yeah, I actually played a game where the debug was still there the other day. I don't know why. Like, I guess they just did the export in debug and they released it like that. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah. So now if I compile it in debug, it'll be in the debugger directly.
Well, I'll show you. What we're gonna do is we need to add one more thing, and what we have to do is we're gonna track this thing.
Okay.
So right underneath add profile, add this new line. Just put this, or FLXG dot debugger. Wait, let me double check here.
Yeah.
You would put in FLXG dot debug dot track. Yeah. So FLXG dot debugger dot track.
Mm-hmm.
Add tracker profile. Huh. All right. That whole tracker thing, I guess you could do it with debugger too. I didn't know that. All right, so you would do flxg.debugger.track this,
Okay.
and then compile it and test it out and see what it does.
Okay. Let's see. It's cool to learn all of this because I would have never learned it by myself. To be honest, like I would have just kept like tracing stuff to debug it, you know.
Yeah, when I started messing around with this debugger and I can see all the things that it can do, it's like, wow. I mean, with working with JavaScript and stuff, like you just get used to being able to debug it like live, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having to like be pretty sure that this is going to work but not too sure, you can set up test cases to kind of make things work faster, you know?
Mm. Right.
All right, so now
So I see it here.
yeah, there should be a window that comes up. I don't know how you're loading the different levels or you know exactly what you're doing, but as one of them you're going to see, and you're going to be able to see all. So this way you can kind of, you know, I mean, you could use the watch window, but this way you have this system set up with every single one of your objects that you create. So instead of having to say, okay, well, I want to watch this and I want to watch this and I want to watch this for this object,
Right.
you can be testing a ton of objects, and they have their own little windows that are more. They have all their information that you need or that you want to see, and be able to kind of, you know, cross-examine them. All right, so now that we got this, we want to add some more.
Can you tweak the debug data that is inside those boxes or not?
Yeah. You can go and change the number. You can change a Boolean. There's some problems though that I've kind of messed around with, especially with like setting values that are like maybe a Boolean. Sometimes if I type in true, it won't change it.
Right.
To get around that, you can type in 0, which would be false, and then 1, which would be true.
Right.
And then another thing that you should do is where you created that new tracker profile,
Mm-hmm.
add a third parameter to that right after the array of properties.
Right.
Add a third parameter that's an array of classes, and just put one class in there. Just put FLX Sprite as the class.
Okay. What does that do exactly? I'm not sure I understand the extensions, array, class dynamic.
So, well, it's this extensions array. What that does is Haxeflixel has a pre-built system set up. It's already created tracker profiles for all of its objects. An FLX Sprite has a certain tracker profile. If you were to go to track any generic sprite, and actually if you were to comment out tracker.add profile new tracker by enemy worm, if you were to comment that out, technically enemy worm is an FLX Sprite. So if you go to track this worm thing, instead of it showing only above ground waiting in FLX Sprite,
Mm-hmm.
or the properties that you put in there, I would get rid of FLX Sprite as a property string, by the way.
Okay.
But if you were to comment all that out, when you go to track it, it's going to include all of these properties: X position, Y position, if it's active, if it exists, if it's alive, all this stuff that's already pre-built. So by doing this, you can add an extension class or even extension classes that will add the defaults. So here what you're doing is you're adding a new tracker profile of your enemy worm. You're adding these two new properties, but then by adding FLX Sprite, you're also adding the basic properties that it would have if this didn't exist. So you'd have the X and the Y invisible and all that stuff. So if you compile it now, and then you go to track it, you should get a ton of more properties, and then this way you can check to see what the Y position is and things like that.
Okay, all the generic properties that all FLX sprites have, right? That's what it's gonna give me.
Yeah, and you can even modify
it or whatever it would give me.
Right. But then this way, it's like during runtime. Now you can really change anything you want. You can change the offset of it.
That's awesome, man. That's incredible. Wow.
Yeah, it's very helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good to know. Really good to know. Yeah, I should have checked this more in depth before I.
Oh man,
wow.
Trust me, I kind of locked myself in the room and learned all this stuff. So, all right. So now we've got some type of like debugging thing set up. So now what we want to do is we want to get some of the basics of what this thing does going.
Yeah.
So what we should do is maybe do something like let's think here. What we could do is we could probably override whether it's alive or not. And then that way you can use the basic functions that Haxeflixel has, like kill and revive, right? And use those to be able to control whether this thing is coming out of the ground or not.
Right.
So
would you recreate it every time you want it to come out, kinda? Is that what you mean? Because
no.
you would kill it when it's underground.
No, I'm saying we can use if you were to just go and kill this thing,
yeah,
and revive it, it'll still, like, if you were to go to kill this thing, it still has that FLX timer stuff in there, right? So you would have to write in more code too to say, like, well, if this thing exists, or if it doesn't exist, then this timer has to be killed, or if it ever gets destroyed, you'll have to destroy the timer and things like that. But if you get this set up where you can override the functions of those, like when this object is destroyed, then make sure to destroy everything along with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would do that. I would get that set up where you would override some of these properties to work with what you're trying to do. So with it being above ground and not above ground, we can do that with we can do that with like a getter setter thing, or we can do it where we're overriding. Let me think here. All right, so we'll do this. Whenever it's active, it'll go up and it'll go down like it's supposed to, right? Whether it's up or down, that'll all be controlled by the FLX tween, so you don't need to have some type of flag where it's above ground or below ground. Right. We'll have a property that's delay, and the delay we can plug in so that we can see how long we want it to be above ground for until it goes back down, and that'll be something that you'll be able to kind of mess with later on. Right. And then we can actually, when you're testing out the game, like that's another thing too. If you want to see, I mean, I don't know how it is with you, but like with me, I have to tweak things while it's working because you have to like get it perfect.
Yeah, that's one thing that
there's been so many times where like I close it, I change it a tiny bit, I compile it again. It's not good enough. I close it, I change it a little bit, I compile again. Like I hate that. So
that's what I've been doing. And
yeah, if you do it this way, you can tweak it in there. I've never met. I need to start venturing out. I honestly kind of really want to start using Unity.
Yeah, you can do that with Unity. You can you have the little bar there, and you can change everything if you. It's like one line of code, I think, from what I remember.
I mean, yeah, but even aside from that, it's like the community is so huge. There's so many people.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, man. Yeah, 100%.
Like I love Haxeflixel, and every time I see somebody on here that's using it, I get all excited. But It's just nobody knows about it, you know. Hopefully, this whole thing will change with Alexander getting his $3 grand, even more than that.
Yeah, it's already funded. I pledge and
It was funded within like the first like 2 hours, something like that.
Yeah, when I
Unity
pledged, it
rocks
was
for that.
already. Yeah, Links 53. Hey man, how's it going? Long time no see. Yeah, it's at 152% right now, which is pretty cool.
I should tell everybody we're Haxeflixeling. Oh, cool! You sent me that thing. All right, I'll have to read that.
Oh, private message. So, I think the first thing that maybe we need to do is like just implement the tweening part of it, so that I can see how that part works, because I've never used it at all.
Yeah, we'll do something. We'll do something like this. We'll have it so that if it's active, it's going to be doing the tweening thing. If it gets killed or something like that, then it stops doing that.
Right.
So if it's alive, it'll be doing that, right? And then if it's dead, if it's not alive, then it'll be killed off. So we'll use revive. Well, we could. I mean, you can use that. What I would do is comment all this stuff so that you still have it, just for now until we can get something solid working, and then maybe get. But what I would do is I would say, let me think here. I need to look at the. I need to look at FLX Tween real quick and see. Alright, so if I did FLX Tween.
I have it open here as well.
Let's see. Alright, and then it would be the tween options. Maybe a var tween.
So it would be
so maybe we can create our own.
Right?
What's that?
It would be a private var for each enemy worm, I'm guessing.
Oh, cool. So the FLX tween even has an active property too. So what we can do is we can even just put this in the update loop. We can say, we can declare the tween to be active whether or not this thing is active or not.
Right.
But if we do that, we still have to set something up where like the tween finishes and goes back down or something like that. But we can worry about that later. So let's create a new private variable and call that, I don't know, animation tween or something like that.
I called it worm tween.
Yeah, and the type that it will be is going to be a tween. It's going to be a var tween.
Oh.
Excuse me, var tween.
Oh, okay, that's.
And I'm not too sure on this yet, so we'll find out if this stuff will work. But actually, var tween might just be a type def for FLX tween. I don't know. Let's try it out. I want to use that because if you do tween.tween,
yeah,
it'll and I can't think. Hold on a second. It'll return a var tween, and with the FLX tween, you can chain on other stuff. You could say like, all right, I'm complete, and then when that's completed, then you can chain another like tween to it. So for example, we could do something like it goes up, delays, goes back down.
This could be super powerful to create any sort of patterns for enemies and stuff like that, I suppose, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can probably even, I don't know, if you had a specific subset of enemies, you can put in the tweening and stuff and have whatever extends it be able to modify that.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I guess it just all depends on how intricate you want to go down.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I have my private variable animation tween. It's var tween. Then what animation tween in public function?
Create a new do so animation tween.
Okay.
and I would comment out start timer.
Yeah.
So we would create a new tween, but we wouldn't set it to be active just yet.
Okay.
And I think we can put in the options. I think we can put in the options later. So we'll just do var new tween. And let me type it in mine too.
So I can just put it empty like this, and it'll go with default values, I guess, that are none, or.
Well, I guess you can put in like an empty bracket. I don't know. It's. I don't like tween options because it's a type def, and something with the Hax develop, it doesn't do code completion that well sometimes with me and type defs. But let me see here, tween options.
Yeah, it says tween
G dot. Okay, so you've got ease, loop delay, on complete, on start, on update, start delay type.
Okay, so.
All right, so you know what I would do? I would put in. I would create like a regular dynamic object with the curly brackets.
Okay.
So I would put in for the tween options, like it would just be well, here, you know what? Let me just type it to you.
Okay. Just send it through a private message, I guess.
Yeah, I'll send it in where you're sending me your stuff.
Okay.
If I could find it. Oh, I can't find. How do you get? I'm trying to get to like the private message that I sent you, but I don't know how.
Oh, you go up to, where there's like 3 little heads there. That's the direct messages. Let's see, I sent you a message so you can find it.
This is like just too small, isn't it? What's going on here? Oh, I see it now. All right.
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
this
it's
thing
kind
is
of
just too
confusing,
small. Okay. So you'd put in something like so var tween options plus, all right, so something like that. But you can do like the enter, add new ones, like type is one of them, and then you put like comma, and then hit enter and put like ease, things like
Okay.
that.
Okay, okay.
All right, so and I think.
So then I would put tween options in sidebar tween.
Well, let's separate them for now, because then that way we can kind of add more to tween options even after we've created it. Like we could just put tween options equals and then left curly bracket, right curly bracket, and not have anything in it,
Okay.
which is completely fine. And then we can add to it later. I'm not too familiar with it, so I like breaking it apart. You can clean it up later and get rid of that and have it in one big thing. But if everything is
Right, the thing that
set
I
up
get
like
is
that,
like what goes into new var tween. Like what are those are the options, right? Which
yeah,
are
like
the
well
var, which
here,
is the
just do
var
this.
that you put it up there, right?
Well, it like create the tween options with a complete empty like dynamic object. So like left curly bracket, right curly bracket, and that's it. And then on the next line, just put like tween options dot, and then you'll be able to see all the different things that you can put it into it.
Oh, okay, I see. Cool. Okay, so I could do them either like one by one or actually just do curly brackets and
Right, right, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that either. That's good.
Yeah,
So
well, like I would say like maybe it'd be better like to clean it up, but in this instance, it's good to kind of see everything. Like I got to do this all the time, and I like code hinting. So
cool.
all right, so we'll just add that like and then make a new tween options variable, and then create a new tween animation, which is like the var tween thing, and make that a variable and include the tween options as a parameter, and then we can add to that later. That's fine.
Like, is this what you mean? I don't know if you can. Ah, you can't see it because of.
Well, just give it 10 seconds. I'll see. Let me see here. So tween options, type Haxeflixel. Yeah, perfect. Okay. And then,
Okay. That's what I was asking you. I wasn't sure, like.
Yeah.
What
We do
went
that.
in there in var tween, because var tween is not the tween itself, right?
It is actually.
It is. Okay, so what is FLX tween then?
Well, okay. So var tween, it says tweens multiple numeric public properties of an object simultaneously. Let me go to that thing really quick. I mean, we might even be able to switch it out with FLX tween. It might just be a type def. Oh, var tween extends FLX tween. So var tween tweens multiple numeric public properties of an object simultaneously. But that's what FLX tween. Oh, okay, all right. I think we could probably change it to be. Function is called tween is created or recycled. Resolve tween options. Destroy. So FLX. Let's see. Motion. Huh. Yeah, this has got a ton of stuff in here. Let me see. All right. So what does linear motion mean? Huh. So it looks like FLX tween already has a built-in called linear motion, which is what you're trying to do. You can have duration or speed.
Yeah, that's
So
what I
this-
was telling you at the beginning, because I just
Oh,
like,
okay.
went through the.
Well, yeah. I mean,
PDF
if you
for-
wanted to, yeah. So if you wanted to, keep it like that, where it's going up 1 pixel at a time, let's do that then.
Right.
So for your tween, the tween is going to be a linear motion. Wait, let me just see what linear motion is. Extends motion. What is motion? And motion extends FLX tween. Okay, so yeah, you know what I would do? You're right. So instead of var tween, make it FLX tween. We're still going to do the var options, and I think if you're doing a new FLX tween, it should be the same thing as var tween.
So it'll
So
take
for the-
tween options as well.
Yeah, I believe so. Let me see.
Right. I still don't get the difference between the two, to be honest. FLX tween and var tween.
Well, FLX tween includes all this other crazy stuff where var tween, like I don't know. I mean, var tween extends FLX tween.
But it has less stuff.
I'd have to read more about it. I mean, we could try. We'll just we'll try this out for now and just use the
Yeah.
FLX tween and see.
That's cool.
It's- Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let's see if var tween would do a linear tween then. So if I did g.linear, yeah, var tween doesn't have linear. It doesn't have like linear motion, but FLX tween does. So let's do FLX tween.
Cool.
I
Perfect.
think FLX tween would probably be the one that. But when you do like FLX tween, that returns a var tween. But we'll figure that out later. Let's just make it FLX tween. So g dot.
So
Or does it? Wait, FLX
I
tween.
wonder if.
Oh, linear motions and ease.
Ah, okay. I see. So.
FLX tween dot. Or no, wait. No, I'm wrong. Hold on a second. All right, so there's different types of tweens. There's linear motion, there's cubic motion. But you can set that to be linear path,
It's a class method, right?
quad path. All right, I think wait, let me see here. Quad path. Cubic motion. All right, so linear motion extends motion. Motion extends FLX tween. All right, here I know what we got to do. We're gonna make the tween is going to be a linear motion tween. That's the type of tween. It's not going to be a generic FLX tween. So the tween animation is going to be a linear motion. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. So
okay, I see. So it's okay. It's
yeah, and then what we're gonna do is we're not gonna do something like it equals new, wait, hold on, let me see here. If I do linear motion. Okay, so we're not gonna like make a new linear motion thing. We're gonna use FLX tween to do that for us. Let me just see. So var motion, FLX, or no, linear motion. And then if I do FLX tween dot tween or dot linear motion, and that returns okay. So I could do motion equals FLX tween dot linear motion. So, oh, perfect. Okay. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna do the animation tween is going to be a linear motion, and make sure to change that in your private var, instead of it being var tween. All right. So it'll be a linear motion.
Right.
And then don't make new, but instead of new, do animation tween equals FLX tween dot linear motion, and then we're gonna put in this, and then I would just put this dot x, and then from y, I would put this dot y.
Y minus 16. Okay, it's from to. Okay, I see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Use duration, whether to use a. Okay, we're gonna try it, and then type, and then.
Yeah, the from x and the to x, just make both of those this dot x, and then from y should be this dot y. To y would be this dot y minus 16, or actually you could do this dot y minus this dot height. That would make it.
Oh,
that would
yeah,
make
that
it.
makes
You could change
more
that too.
Right. Yeah,
And then duration or
option.
speed, you could use that as 1. Use duration would be true in your case if you wanted to make it so that it was, or no. You would do false for use duration if you want to make sure that it's a pixel change every frame. And then for tween options, put your tween options that you put in there. And it's
Okay.
ping pong.
Yeah. So
All right. So now that so now you've created that animation tween, but
Right.
and by default it's active, right?
Oh, it's already hooked into the object where I created.
If you do FLX tween dot linear motion, that will automatically start playing it.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So now what we can do is that animation tween also has a property called active, and what we can do in update, and actually I would put this in your override update function, but put it on the line above super update.
The animation tween or the whole thing?
No. Just
Just
go into the update function, and I want you to type animation tween dot active equals this dot active.
so it's active if the object is active. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so now it should work normally. Hello?
Yeah, this should work. Test it out. Let's see.
Okay. Unexpected. Oh, so I did comment a bunch of stuff out. Has no field ping pong. Okay, that's cool.
Are you getting an error?
Yeah, but I'm fixing it. And then it says has no field linear motion. Okay, linear motion. Okay. Unidentified above ground. Okay. Then the rest I'm just gonna comment out. Sorry about that. Okay. Damn, dude, I'm learning so much just from you telling me stuff that maybe for you is simple, but like I'm really learning a lot about stuff that I have never used, like the debug thing. That's really amazing.
It would be nice to be in your shoes. I would love to watch more people and see their methods of doing stuff, and you know.
I don't know if it's that nice. I wish I knew stuff, you know. I wish I knew more stuff about Haxeflixel in general. Let me see if
I wish I did too. You know, it's a never ending thing. You're never gonna like get to a point where like, oh, I know everything. Cool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so now it's going up, but it's going up like super slowly, but it is going down. So there is.
So it's going up and down then.
Yeah, but now I'm guessing that.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Linear motion. Let me see if there's a speed. Okay, duration flow. Duration in seconds. Okay, so maybe that's the problem right there.
Hey, where are you assigning the X and Y to that thing? Are you doing it when you make a new one of those, like new enemy worm?
Yeah. Basically, right now the way I have it is like it goes through the array that it chooses from a template, and then let's say if there's a 7 in it, yeah, it's actually a 7. It will create the new object at the location of that tile, and it'll delete that tile. Yeah, that's what I have for now. Why?
Okay. No, I was just curious. So what'd you put in for the
I think
duration?
The duration was 2, so now I just put it at 0.5 just to try it out.
Oh yeah, that should be half a second then. Or wait a second. Duration or speed? Use duration between options.
Yeah, it's still super slow again. Let me see why.
Well, you know what? Duration or speed? Okay. Then for use duration, do you have that as true or false?
Oh, right, okay. I have it as false. Okay, that's what that means. Okay. Use duration or speed.
I mean, it should be, if you're setting speed, I'm guessing it would just go one.
No, it was going 2 pixels because I was not using duration, I was using speed. So that makes sense. So now I'm using speed and I'm setting it to 0.5, so it should only take 0.5. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that fixed it. But now I guess it's not waiting, so I'm guessing that is a tween option that I have to set.
Yeah, I'm sure we can put that in there.
Like start delay or let's see.
Yeah, there should be. Let me see here.
Wow, this is really cool. This is really cool. I didn't know any of this.
Let's think here. Let's see. Let me look it up. Flex tween at ping pong. Assist ping pong. To and from tween type will play tween hither and thither. Let's see more about it. Let's see. Mode. Shut. One shot. And from looping tween type will send me when it finishes.
Oh wow, you can even use that to change the color of an object.
Yeah, you can do a bunch of stuff with it.
What? This is, you know, the thing is.
Oh, that was actually, you know what? Now that I think of it, that is why I like to use a lot of getters and setters, especially for using FLX tween.
Right.
Because if let's say I had some type of like property that was a number, and I did the setter thing, and every time you set that number, it would do something. I can use FLX tween to like really test it out, and it would update it every single time it changed it. I'm trying to find. I know that there was. Wait, you know what I think it is? I think it's FLX tween dot linear motion, and then that returns blah blah blah, and then we put dot.
Oh, what about loop delay?
Yeah. Seconds to wait between loop of this tween. Let's see. Start delay.
Because what is the loop? Is like going up and down, I guess. The whole thing.
Well, you know, we can change this. We can change this up. We can those up, and then instead of using ping pong, we can do then dot wait, and then it'll give us a delay. Hold on, let me think for a second here. All right, you know what I think? I think, and actually this would be good for the future. Instead of using ping pong, so you can chain this thing to do stuff. So like you can do linear, like you can create linear motion. You can create the linear motion tween, right? And then we can, instead of having it like looping back and forth, what we're gonna do is we can create a function that's like move, let's say, like using your move, right? But instead of calling that like in the update like you did, as soon as you put move, it'll just start doing it, and then inside of that function we can put in FLX tween dot linear motion, and then all this tween equals FLX tween dot linear motion, and then put in all this stuff, and then we can put animation tween dot. Let's see here. Dot. Oh, it even has a finish property. There's a loop delay. Let's go back between loops of this tween. Sorry, I'm just thinking.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out like.
So, all right. So. I mean, we don't even need to. We can just make it a new linear motion tween. We don't have to use FLX tween to set it, but we'll keep it how it is. Here, just do that. We'll do the FLX tween where it goes from the Y position of wherever it is to the Y position of minus 16 or whatever, right?
Right.
We'll do that first, and then the next line, put in animation tween dot active, or actually, is there a stop? No, there's not.
Because we could do. like I see that there's a backward one. Could we do like one shot and then make it go backwards once
Yeah.
there's a
We'll do that.
timer thing or something? I don't know.
Well, here in the new inside of the when you create the new animation tween. Yeah, so let's see. Animation tween equals flex tween dot linear motion blah blah blah. Okay, and then animation tween dot active equals false.
Right.
And then we're gonna call. Let me see. Let me just think. This is too many steps. Between, and we're already putting that in the update anyways. Animation tween. All right. You know what? I think instead of making animation tween equals flex inside of there, we're going to take all that, even the tween options variable.
Right.
We're going to take all that and we're going to put it inside of a new function. We're just going to have that function like set up animation or something like that.
Right. And we're gonna.
Or you know what? Instead of setup animation, put start animation or play animation.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Because what we'll end up doing is this will be like a recursive function that'll cancel itself out if it's not active. So once you start it, it's going to go up, then it's going to go down, and then after it does that, it's going to call its own function all over again.
Right. Makes sense.
All right, so start animation, bar between options is there, and you can actually, if you put your cursor like in tween options, like somewhere in, you know, in the actual like text tween options right after var, and do Control-Shift-1 and then put that into your class. What does it say? Let me see. Oops. It says promote to class member. Go ahead and do that because then that'll make it a global variable. And then that way you're not creating a new tween options every time you start animations made. All right. So then it should say, yeah, it's handy. All right, so it would be tween options equals type flex tween dot ping pong. And actually, you can take that whole. You can take that where it's inside of start animation, like you. Single time.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. What'd you say?
I would. Sorry, the tween options on line 46. Take that and put that like inside of the new function.
Okay.
So that you're not making tween options equal something new every single time.
Right, because you only need to set it up once, because it's always going to be the same, right?
Right.
But we're not using ping pong anymore, are we?
No, but we can keep that stuff in there just in case.
Okay.
All right. Start animation. Animation tween equals flex tween dot linear motion. It's going to do that, and then for tween options.
Right.
Actually, you can either, yeah, you know what? For tween options, just replace tween options with left curly bracket, right curly bracket. Or if there's like if it's just tween dot linear motion, let me see if it is.
I can just.
Oh yeah, it is. Just get rid of tween options. Get rid
Okay.
of last parameter.
You're cutting off for some reason. I don't know why.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. But sometimes you kind of cut off in the middle of a sentence.
Maybe it's my internet. Okay, so it'd be animation tween equals flex tween dot linear motion, true, and then put dot weight
Like you mean on a new line with the animation
Uh,
tween, or right after the linear
you
motion?
could do either or. You could
Okay.
do the whole linear motion thing, whichever is easier.
I see. Okay, that's cool.
All right.
Mm.
So we're gonna do wait.
1 second, I guess. Right.
Yeah, you could do that, and then dot. Hold on, sorry, I'm like trying to type this over here too.
Are we resetting it to
Just
active?
wait one. No, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna maybe backward would work.
Right. Yeah.
Or no, actually, you know what? Then, okay. So what you want to do is you want to put dot wait one, and then put dot then,
Hmm.
and then put another parenthesis. You do FLX tween dot linear motion, and you're gonna put in. You know what? I'm wondering, since we're already assigning this to be animation tween.
So now we're chaining them, right? Is that what
Yeah.
we're doing? We're like waiting, then we're gonna start a new one. But how do you start a new one inside of then? You have to create, like just like we did in the beginning, FLX tween, linear motion, blah blah.
You know what? Let me open up the tween demo thing and see what we're doing. I mean, there's different ways of doing this. I'm trying to figure out which one's the best one. FLX tween. Okay. So we basically need to do the dot wait.
Right.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So you do the dot wait for a second,
Right.
and then put in dot, and then put then.
Yep.
And then inside the parentheses for dot then, you would put in FLX tween dot linear motion.
Right.
And then you would pretty much just change the, put in the same like linear motion thing you have. Where it says this xy minus height 0.5 true.
Right.
That then linear motion. And then instead of y minus height, do y plus height. Because then I'll put it back.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to use the backwards thing. We're just going to change that to be
Okay.
plus 5.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Oh, it makes sense. Yeah, it's like plain English with what it says, pretty much. But I didn't know
Right.
that the syntax is so weird to me. I've never.
I know, me too. I'm used to
Yeah.
like the green sock tweeting stuff. But okay, so and now we're gonna do that then FLX tween dot linear motion this and then right after true for the second one,
Right.
we're gonna add in a new. We're gonna add in the tween options that we have. And then instead of putting type FLX tween dot ping pong, we're going to put in a different one, but we'll do that after we put in when we add linear motion or the add tween options to, yeah, right there. Sorry, I forgot this is like 10 seconds later. Okay, so tween options. And then we go back to tween options and we'll get rid of type for FLX tween dot ping pong. And instead of type, we're going to put on complete.
Okay, let me see.
We're going to put on complete. Start animation. That should be the recursive part. Let me double check.
Oh, okay. So once it's completed, you just start it all over, and then it'll. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right, and since we're assigning this to a variable, when this thing is destroyed, and actually we're already kind of doing this with the whole active equals this dot active.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure that if this thing is killed, it's going to stop doing the whole recursive thing. Or not killed, but if it's not active. I guess killing would make it not active. But even if you set it as active equals false, it shouldn't do that recursive thing. So let's try it out. And you might have to anything with like parentheses, not the curly brackets with those. You can separate out lines, but I think it might have a problem compiling if you have the second FLX tween.linear motion on a new line.
Oh, really? Okay. So
Yeah,
after the.
I would just put that all in one line.
So where can I separate it? I shouldn't, or in an.
Well, here, you know what?
Parentheses or
You know
something?
what? Here, just do this. Just do this. Instead of right where it says dot weight one,
Right.
you can take dot weight one and then put a semicolon, and then on the next line you would put animation tween dot then.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
All right, so man, does this thing have a microphone on it?
It cuts off sometimes on my end. I don't know why.
I don't know. All right, so if you did where it says dot weight one, and then that would be it, and then the next line you would put animation tween dot then. I think that would be the same thing as all of this here.
Oh, all right. Okay. Right, it makes sense. I'm guessing.
That should work, yeah. Perfect. And then get rid of the animation tween dot active equals false,
Right.
and then try that out. See what it does.
So I start the animation on new, right? I call start animation on new.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
I gotta show you the console too, because you'll get blown away by that.
So far, I've been blown away.
Actually, you know what? Okay, well, here, do this.
Wait,
Actually, this
have
is
an
fine.
error
I want to
right
see.
now.
I want to see if this works. Oh, let's see. Oh, you need to make animation tween a linear motion type.
Oh. Oh, I have linear motion. I have it.
Really?
Linear motion, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's
Take
see.
the dot weight one
Yeah.
and put that and chain that to the second line. Like what's happening is when you do dot weight one, that returns back an FLX tween. So by making animation tween equal all the way to where it says weight one, you're making it equal an FLX tween. So we'll do that. That'll be a linear motion. Perfect. Yeah. There you go. Well, you got two periods in there.
Yeah, I deleted it.
Okay. Void should be tween callback.
Hmm.
Wait, hold on a second. Let me look at
Maybe I
tween.
made a typo or something. On complete should it be like this? On complete, yeah.
Let's see. FLX tween.
Because on complete we're doing a callback, right, to our own function here, which is the recursive thing that you said, but
Here, wait. I'm just checking it out.
yeah.
I think it's something to do with the on-complete needs to be a tween callback. What's a tween callback?
I think I got it. No, no, I didn't.
That's right. I think it's something to do with the tween callback.
I tried something, but yeah, I don't think it worked. No, it didn't work at all. So
All right, do this. Inside of your start animation.
Right.
Oh, wait. So you do have that tween.
No, I just edited it.
Oh, you did? Then
Yeah,
that should
because
work.
yeah, but then in start animation it says that it doesn't have enough arguments. So let's.
Oh, then make that tween thing. Make that an optional. So put a right before tween.
Put a what? Sorry.
A question mark.
Okay.
Sorry, I gotta wait 10 seconds to see where.
No, it says void should be null to the callback.
Void should be null. Haxeflixel tween callback. Damn it. Hold on a second. Almost got it.
Yeah, I can feel we're almost there. I always get this error with the FLX timer because you also have to put for the callback to work, you have to put like a FLX timer callback or something like that. I don't remember.
Huh. So FLX tween. Oh, all right. Here, let me just double check here. Okay, instead of tween being a tween callback, make it an FLX tween.
Okay. Yeah, that seems to be compiling.
Is it working? Is it compiling?
Yeah, it compiled. Yeah.
All right, let's cross our fingers.
Let's see. Well, now I have to find the enemy. Yeah, next thing I'm doing is like a sandbox state where I can just put an enemy and that's it, you know, because this is kind of ridiculous.
Oh, having to go through all the states? All right,
Okay.
well, the levels, however you have it set up.
It's it doesn't work correctly. It comes out. I guess you're gonna see it. Let me just try to grab one as it's coming. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, so that happened. I'm just trying to get a couple to show them to you so that you can see what happens.
Well, I know the basics of it. So maybe what I can do is, on my end, maybe I can play around with the FLX tween and get something going to where you want, like to where you are wanting to have it, and see what I can figure out. I mean,
Yeah,
FLX tween, I don't know. I mean, but I'm not familiar with it enough to know, like, oh, so if I play around with it,
Yeah, I feel
we
like
can mess around with it.
it kind of skipped a couple of pixels. I don't know if you saw it, what it does.
It looks like it goes up and then it just like jumps back down.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I wonder like if I just put it all in one line, if that's gonna make any change. Like any difference, I mean, sorry. In your motion, then. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Are you trying to compile it to like be on one line?
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if like that has anything to do with
Yeah,
it.
maybe.
Options.
Wait, go all the way back.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry. Scroll all the way to the left. Okay. Make animation tween. Don't make it a linear motion. Make it a FLX tween.
Okay.
No, I'm saying like where you declare it or where you create it up at the very top.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of linear motion.
Okay.
Man, this fucking delay.
No, I kind of get what you're saying anyway. So like, I fix it by the time you ask me, but yeah, sometimes like
I'm
you
just
tell-
sitting
you're
here
telling
like,
me-
man, did he understand?
You're telling me
Alright.
the opposite, so I'm like, oh, did I fuck it up? Okay, let me see. No, it's the same issue.
Same issue. All right.
Yeah, same thing. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I can get it, but basically, you've got it. You've got it. Like that setup is should be okay. So we can play around with that and get it to where it's working.
I think I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna put it back to on 2 lines, and
You know what? Let me look at the FLX tween again. No, the only thing that I'm doing on my end is just completion thing that I know exactly what to type in. But I mean, FLX tween. Let's look at that line here. So it's got tween options, start delay, loop delay. Let's see. Waiting for this to- You know what you could do? Can you hear me? Instead of using weight, what we could do is we can do FLX tween dot linear blah 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 blah, right? And then and then after that, we put in another one right underneath it, and then add a start delay to that as like I don't know 5 or something, and then it will go up. But as soon as that first tween starts, like for example, if that tween, if it took 2 seconds total to go all the way up, and we set this new one, even though there's no wait or anything, but set that to be like 5 seconds, then technically that one would go off 3 seconds later, right? And then, yeah, let's try that. Let's do do animation tween equals F, and then the next one do animation tween equals FLX tween dot linear motion. Well, I would keep the same animation tween. I don't know if this will work. Let me think. Start delay. Yeah, let's just try it. Whatever. Yeah. Did you already name? Okay, you got animation to animation. Yeah, let's just try it. Yeah, let's keep two. Let's just make it one for now. If it doesn't work, we'll do. But we'll do animation tween equals and then the linear motion, and then do animation tween that equals linear motion. And then inside there, we're gonna put tween options. But then, yeah, that should work. Like no. We just yes, exactly. We put animation tween equals FLX tween dot linear motion, blah blah blah, and then animation tween equals FLX tween dot linear motion. That way, whenever this thing is set to be inactive, technically then this whole looping thing should stop, or it should pause. Because what? Right. So what we're gonna do is the tween options where it says on complete, we're gonna put another one in there, and we're gonna put it's going to be, let me see. It's going to be start delay. Yeah, start delay, and that's a float. So put comma, and you can use it. You can do the enter line in there. Try, instead of it being just 1 second, try like 3 seconds. And then try that out and see what happens. All right. Let me see if I can get it working. I have it work the same way as how you're doing it. And if I can get it working, I'll send you the code. But I mean, that should technically work. That should be fine. That should work the way that you want it to work.
So isn't the fact that we're declaring it twice a problem though?
That's what I'm guessing. I think that there might be a different. There's got to be a certain way. There's got to be a way to do it. I mean, we could use the ping pong thing, but then it's gonna hinder the whole
What about
like.
this? If I do finished, then it goes like for the first one that is finished. No, that wouldn't work. I don't think.
Is just a boolean. The finish is like a read only to check if that animation, if that tween is
Right.
still going or not. Like if.
Right.
Yeah, that finish is just a boolean.
Yeah, I see.
All right, let me see here. I've got a
Had to
test
try
case.
it.
Haxeflixel tween. Got state for objects sprite no sprite.
So we can't use something like on